All right. Well, I think we'll go ahead and get started here. Um, so tonight's meeting is kind of just about the protest, which was amazing. Hopefully, some of you got to make it. I know Old Gravy Lake was there. I don't know if anybody else got to make it, but it was definitely an experience. The UFDA crew did an amazing job putting stuff together and having things ready to go. Um, they had wooden pickets that people could make their own signs with posters that they printed and brought. We had signs that people could paint themselves and write on, so people could share that individual message. Uh, Overall, it was a really good experience. The first day, I think there was about 30 or 40 people all together, and that was on Friday. And we spent a lot of time uh, basically walking in front of the FAA building and chanting. And we did do an interview with Aviation Weekly, which was really cool. That was Troy. Mostly it was Troy, myself, and Tyler from RDQ. And then I know Enoch jumped in a couple of times and gave some of his side as well. So we hope that will kind of make an impact from that. Yeah, it was on Friday. So yeah, it was a gentleman from Aviation Weekly. So and then on Saturday, I got there about 10 o'clock in the morning. There were a ton of people already there. People were picketing already. I got in to the protest a little later than I wanted to, but after a 40-hour day the day before, it was pretty much the best I could do. And people just kept showing up, and there were a lot of well-known pilots. There were a lot of not as known. There were kids there. There were um, just about everybody you could think of. Matt, did you guys get a total count of how many people showed up?
I think overall I want to say people were saying like 350 to 400 total because there
Yeah,
were
I
a lot
mean,
of people coming in and out. It wasn't a
hmm
consistent it wasn't like people staying the entire day cuz it was pretty cold.
yeah, it
But
was brutally cold.
yeah,
Um,
about people pretty much like from like say 10 or 11 o'clock until 4
yeah,
when and that was when I left. I don't know how much longer everybody wound up staying.
everybody stayed till about 4:30. It kind of wrapped up. I left about 4:45 because I had to make my flight. But yeah, that's when pretty much it died down. Um, but I live streamed. Everybody live streamed. I mean, it wasn't just me any means. A lot of people were recording for later YouTube posts, and a lot of people were live streaming. I live streamed as much as I could. Pretty much the important parts where everybody got up on stage and shared their stories, which were amazing. And it really is impactful to understand what FPV means to, and model aviation in general means to people. And I'm I'm hoping, and I have read quite a few of the comments, but that a lot of people put that kind of stuff in their comments. Um,
There was a major push around I think there was like something like 22,000 NPRM comments on Friday, and then by the end of Sunday it was like 44,070.
yeah,
So I
yeah, it
mean
was.
The number I saw
I kind of
today was 53,000.
Yeah, so
54 like 54 367 or 53 467 something like that. I
yeah.
saw that number. I saw a bunch of
So
people posting that number.
can you still comment? Because one
No.
of the posts I saw was that the submit button was still there. You can reply to other comments.
Yeah, so the next 30 days is meant as a reply period. So if there's a comment in there that you disagree with or that you agree with, you can write a reply to those particular.
Online online commenting is closed, and they
Right.
at their discretion may accept paper comments for the next small number of days, but I wouldn't put high hopes in it.
So, but I mean, to be honest, 50,000 comments, I don't think anybody at the FAA was expecting that by any stretch of the imagination.
Quick
Well,
question. Did somebody actually invite Terrence Howard, or did he just happen to show up?
So the story I got was that Terrence reached out to Chad, but I don't know anything for certain. I don't know if you do, Matt.
Yeah, Terrence and Chad, I guess, know each other, and I think that's how that came about. We wound up talking to him. He wanted to go and be involved and make a speech and make a statement. So he wound up showing up.
Yeah,
We
that
didn't
was
even know
awesome.
if
I
he was
just
actually going to or not. It was great to have somebody that high up, like somebody that well known there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, that was definitely pretty impressive. And most of the, a good chunk of the big names that, I know, like Drib was there, Cricket was there, Zoe was there, Jamie was there.
I was there.
Yeah, you were there. Definitely. Steel showed up towards the end.
Mhm.
So,
No,
it was.
he was there Friday and Saturday. He was
I
there
didn't
both
see
days.
him on Friday.
No, he was there.
Oh, well, I must have just missed him. But,
Mm.
yeah, I wish, I could have gotten to fly with you guys on Sunday, but I had to get back and get to work. But
Oh, I left my house. I left Boston at midnight. I got there at about 8:30, and then I stayed till 4, and I drove nonstop back home. I didn't get home till 2:30. I had to pull over and take a nap. And
oh boy,
the night before, I was up helping everybody get ready and make sure everybody got down there all right, helping them with
yeah,
directions, just whatever was needed. I was up, so I barely had anything.
I hear you. I was there with you. So, um, but overall, guys, I think the more we can hit them from multiple directions, whether that's the comments, whether that's a protest, whether that's uh, hitting our senators and representatives,
Mhm.
the board of transportation, any of these multi-front attacks, the more we can do, the better. So I know there are some people that saying the comments aren't going to do anything, or the protest didn't do anything, or anything like that. But what it is doing is
Mhm.
really pushing the FAA to understand that this is not as small of a deal as they were hoping it would be. And so I really, really do appreciate all the effort that the UFDA went in through doing that.
Mhm.
It was really an amazing experience. So please pass that
And
on,
you
Matt.
did great with it. Yeah, no, definitely. Primitive's here too. He was there.
Okay.
He's another UFDA crew member.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody else that.
Yeah, I don't see
But
Enoch. He's not here today,
no,
but
I pinged him. I know he's working on some computer stuff. So
gotcha.
yeah, or asleep
But
again because he just went way too hard. like
yeah, he did. He really
like
did. He
he.
was going all day long, both days. I mean, he was just like tearing it up. So
Mhm.
really pass that along to the rest of the crew, because it was really awe-inspiring how much effort
Cool.
and everything you guys put into that. So I really appreciate it.
No
Um,
problem. Yeah,
so
like I said, your speech was great too.
well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I didn't even know that you were there until you got up on stage too. So
Yeah, I was mostly intermingling and just talking with people and getting people's stories and asking if they had commented, and really kind of doing personal discussions and answering questions, and a lot of live streaming, a lot of pictures. So, yeah, that was.
Me and Westside just went hard on getting all the photos that we could. It was like, I think he shot 6 32 gig cards, and I shot I think I shot about at least 64 gigs.
That's awesome.
I had 2,200 pictures when I got home, and I whittled
Are you
them down.
guys going to create a repository with all those pictures, or?
Yeah. We're gonna redo the website once we have a little time off.
Perfect.
Or not
Well,
necessarily redo, but we're gonna add to it. So.
Yeah. Well, let us know when those go live, because I know people are posting and everything, and I'm going through the pictures that people are posting. I saw Westside he got a bunch of edits done, and he dropped those on Facebook. But people are really gonna love to see those.
Yeah, a bunch of mine are on the Help Save Our Hobby Facebook page as well. Here, I'll pull up that link right here.
While you're pulling that up, this is Dave. I just wanted to add, Matt, that we're just delighted with the UFDA crew, and it was definitely one of those things where, because there were no issues, no one noticed. No one noticed that all the permits were in place. No problem picketing. No problems with any law enforcement. Nothing. Just beautifully done. Lots of organization. You guys did a stellar job. We really appreciate the professionalism you brought to the table.
The free hot dogs for them as well was a good stroke of genius there.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, Sammy was great. Yeah. But Sammy was the hot dog guy. For those who weren't there, he was really good. So no one tried to fly anything. A lot of people. There were a couple people that like taped their wings or their quads to a wooden picket, and then they put their sign underneath it, or they wrote on their wings. One person actually took like a giant just a wing off one of his aircraft, and that was his picket sign. And then there was a whoop on a string. That was actually Captain Uno. And he was just twirling it around, which was pretty funny. So
there's my file dump.
Perfect.
Well, not all of it. That's only 35 of them. But
yeah, hey, 35 is great. So
it was good, and thank you everybody that was there for obeying the rules and not being a dick. I mean, to put it like realistically, like that's the best way that you could. Like everybody got along. It was crazy because so many people that don't get along got along. Like there was no bad.
Yeah, there was. I mean, it was amazing to see.
Yeah, like Steele talking to Drew and Chad.
I know.
Same thing with Bot. Like I mean, it was, like it was just really good. It was like and me and Enoch kind of joked about that a little bit before everything happened, and how this was like when everybody came together after 9/11, like the day after. Nobody cared. It was just everybody coming together. It was kind of the same thing. Like the past didn't matter.
Yeah, it really was, and it was pretty amazing. So now in terms of going back to your question, Bruce, RDQ claiming to be taking court action. Dave, do you want to touch on that for a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. There are a number of us that are working with Tyler on this. We're very much, or at least certainly my view is that you can't litigate until the rule is in place. So
right,
we're way ahead of our blocking here, but there's work to be done. There's good activity that we can do. So it's things that are effective right now will be email campaigns to relevant congressmen, congresswomen, senators on the appropriate, and I say relevant as the appropriate subcommittees like space and aviation subcommittees and the transportation committee that oversees them.
Can I add a comment to that? If that's all right.
Sure. Absolutely. We've got
172. Can you mute your mic, bud?
Thank you, Josh.
Okay. Yeah. In one of the RDQ threads about the intent to litigate or whatever, Brendan Schulman started popping in some comments, obviously saying, "Hey, look, it's way too soon," but he suggested and is willing to help on organizing a Hill Day to get in front of representatives,
Yes,
which I kind of think is a really good idea.
I do
Let's
too.
do it in summer.
Right. I'm talking to Brendan about that.
Oh, good. Okay, great. Well, I saw that comment. He was getting some hate, I think, just from people who weren't looking past their nose, but I think that just warranted a mention.
Absolutely, yeah. There's the guidance that we're getting informally from not only Brendan but the aviation community, both manned and unmanned, is excellent. And so it's we've got on the record and off the record help from a lot of different organizations, and that's helping us determine what makes a sensible next step.
Okay, great.
So, Josh, yeah, we did see that Tyler set up a crowdfunding. I think we'll have a call hopefully this weekend. We'll start to get some organization behind this so that we can clearly communicate who and what's going on. And I think that's I think Tyler started with a broad communication, and then that means that we need to let folks know what's going on, what the plans are. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, to add to that, I don't know that. I mean, I like the desire behind it. I don't know. I think it's too soon for some kind of a fundraising without having a purpose for it yet. I think you need to have a purpose to do a good fundraising campaign.
Yep.
Well, I mean, people were asking him to set that up, and he was. I mean, to be honest, he's just doing what people asked him to do. So there's no, and like he said, at this point, there's no need to donate unless you want to. I won't discourage anybody from doing so. I won't advocate anybody to do so, but we need to get our feet underneath us first and figure out what the ruling's actually going to be. So the next step, guys, is going to be basically having conversations, writing letters, emails to the Board of Transportation. And we want to focus this in on those certain representatives because those are the ones that have direct control over the FAA. And even more so, we want, if you have a particular senator or representative on that board that's from your state. Go ahead.
Let me just correct. Department of Transportation.
Department of Transportation. Sorry.
So that Elaine Chow is the secretary, and then we'll be looking for the committee members of the in the House and Senate who are on the appropriate Department of Transportation committees, as well as the Space and Aviation. So we'll do the homework, and so you'll be able to say, oh, okay, is this my congressman, congresswoman, or senator? And if it is, then it's okay. Please send this email, because we have learned further. This is advice from folks that don't even bother sending emails if you're to a congressman, congresswoman, or senator, if they are not your representative. And so that makes sense. We know these folks are busy, and they hear from a lot of us all the time. So we'll make sure that we line it up with the constituents.
To answer your question, TextJet, the letters, when they go to your senator, will not be public. They're not going to be like the comments that were on the NPRM. But we are going to create a letter that you guys can use, and that will be public, because we want everybody to be able to access that. And that way, it's not. And by all means, you don't have to use what we create. We're just giving you the option so that if you don't have the time, or you don't feel like you could write well enough or anything like that, you can use ours to reach out to them. So we will post those on our site as soon as they are created, and we'll get those created here in the next couple, probably 2 weeks, Dave?
Yep. Yep.
So
can do.
But I always have to ask because I have a knack for giving us more work.
No.
But at any rate, yeah. So that's going to be very important. That's another prong to the attack. So we've got the comments. People have already talked to their representatives. I would encourage that to continue. I don't think there's any harm in contacting somebody who's not on the Board of Transportation, or Department of Transportation, sorry. But I would like to really focus our efforts on the Department of Transportation in the correct subcommittees, because it's going to have the most impact in those areas. So let me see. I'm just going through the comments here. Okay. So honestly, it's a lot of you hopefully have gone through the comments. I know DJI put out an 80-page comment, and it's really good stuff. There was some comments from Kenji Sugahara, also really good stuff. There's several comments from people who have been doing this a long time, from companies that are really great. I would like to. Oh, go ahead.
Along those lines, so the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association, the Experimental Aircraft Association, the AMA, the Innovation Drone Alliance, and others, their comments and ours were generally aligned, and so that's really very helpful to us, as were DJI's. As I say, generally very much in alignment, and that's positive because with the number of people and the number of companies that feel that the NPRM as written is awesome and great and should just as quick as you can, let's get this affected. It's a very small number of companies and organizations, and so I'm thrilled with how supportive and as Matt was saying, how aligned we are. So this is a unifying factor, and that's positive. And then we have Amazon's. Yes, that's true there. And so when we think, a lot of talk around the wires around, well, big money is one of the issues, and so one of the biggest and deepest pockets, Google Wing, has a lot of FPV pilots on their staff, and so I'm grateful and was able to thank a couple of their executives personally that they have taken a very pro recreational drone position. So, yep, we see Amazon negative, but we see Google very positive, and so we will certainly work with our allies and friends to the best benefit.
Absolutely. So on that note, I would like to thank, I went digging through the comments last night, and I think there was, I can't remember the exact number, but something like 700 people used our response, which was fantastic. I really appreciate that. That in the grand scheme of 500 or 50,000 comments, that's not a ton, but at the same time, it's a more consistent message getting out there. there were something like 1,000 mentions of the FPVFC, which was also fantastic. So I really appreciate our members, our people who follow us on Facebook. We don't put anything behind a paywall, so if you choose to sign up for a membership, you're just helping the cause. So I do want to thank everybody who used that, who mentioned us, who shared our views, who talked with other people. I think that was one of the amazing things about the protest was there wasn't one person that came up to me and said, what the heck are you guys doing? That it was a lot of, we really appreciate what you're doing. You guys are, spending a ton of effort, so that was really enlightening for me, and definitely a very positive feeling from all those people. So it was a really big boost, to be honest, because we put a lot of effort in, and we like to see that people are using that. And I mean, that's our main goal, is to provide the information, provide the details, the specifics, the materials you guys need to understand what's going on and to respond to these issues. So
Here he is. Sorry, I had to let you know Enoch's here.
Enoch!
Go celebrity boys.
What up?
How you doing, brother?
Hanging in there.
So we were just
trying to catch up
about
on sleep.
Yeah, you and me both, man. As soon as I got back, I had to head straight back to work. But so we were just talking about the protest and really appreciating everything you guys did. So please spread the thank yous to everyone on the UFDA crew.
Will do. Thank you guys.
So,
Thank you guys for being there, being a part of it. Like
absolutely.
it really needed everybody to come out and be there together.
Mm-hmm. So,
Mike, Matt was telling us that all of the setup and the preparation was really his, and you really didn't have to do anything. Is that fair?
That was good. Yeah, I had to sit back. Matt drove down and he did everything, and then he left when it was done. It was great.
Got there a day late, pointed some fingers, and
we were, in seriousness, we did say a little earlier, and we're really very appreciative how professionally done the entire event was. Grateful for all the, lots of hours to pull that off. Anyone who's close to large event planning knows that you can't do that sort of event in that time frame. And so awesome that you got it done and did it with class, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I forget where I was gonna say something and totally spaced it. I don't think I have. Oh yes, actually, on that topic, and as people were saying about the protests, how everybody just got along, even people who classically have not got along, and people cooperated and all that kind of stuff. I really want to impress upon people the need for us to continue that theme, not only at public events like that, but throughout social media, and really try to understand where different people are coming from. Right now, every bit of this hobby, whether you fly FPV, you fly fixed wing, you fly helis, you fly aerial photography, it doesn't matter. We all need to come together as best as possible. And that was one of the cool things about the protest to see, is that we had everybody from everything there, and we need to continue that theme throughout. So please, as you go out, please impart that message to everybody that we as an industry need to come together and continue to fight this. As Enoch famously said like 500 times at the protest, this is just the beginning. It really is. And I'm going to carry that theme with me, because it is. It is just the beginning. So, but we need to
also since the dawn of
Yep, since the dawn of time.
Since the dawn of time, it's been the beginning.
Yep.
Absolutely. So, carry that theme with you and try to impart that to other people as you see these interactions. People are getting attacked that shouldn't, and there are people who are not informed. So take that extra minute instead of putting them down or putting them on blast to help get them informed, and that could come from just about any, source. It could come from, the Help Save Our Hobby page. It could come from the FPVFC. You could hand them, DJI's response, and whatever the case may be. But really, it's we have to all come together to survive here. And
Yeah, I still keep hearing people say, "Oh, I've been living under a rock. What is this all about?"
Absolutely. There was
They
a
haven't
post
heard
on
about it.
Rotorite. Yeah, there was a post on Rotorite today. And they're like, I stopped flying for a few months, and there's new rules, and what is it about? So I linked them to, our document, that our short form document that explains the NPRM. So there are going to be people that stepped out of the hobby for one reason or another and are coming back into it, and they're going to have questions, and we need to do our best to get them caught up, get them involved, let them know what's going on and how we can best affect it. So
I briefly heard there was a person representing a really large Facebook group of probably DJI camera drone owners that was speaking briefly. Did anyone talk to them
it
more?
was a couple people talked to him. His name was Xavier, and he's from the Five Boroughs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic videography those guys create.
Yep. So I'm gonna try and reach out to him again. I'm going to New York in June and see if I can just meet up with them and have some more conversations with him. But so yeah, please spread the positivity, guys. And please, let's work together. That's the biggest thing that we can do right now, is just to work together. So what questions does anybody have? I'll give you back part of your evening tonight. I just wanted to really appreciate the UFDA and really Enoch, I'm sorry, I kept my Sky Marshal badge. Don't kill
Hell
me.
yeah. No, you deserve it. You deserve it, man. Those are the cheap parts. Like the expensive parts were, all the rest of the moving things.
Yeah, absolutely. So quick question, Enoch, how'd you guys come out on budget?
It was a little over budget because
Okay.
of some things that were in the permits, but some last minute donations got us pretty close, like within a couple $100.
Okay, so do you still have the donation link up?
Yeah, it's still open.
Okay, so guys, if you have a couple bucks that you can throw the UFDA to help cover the protest, it would be amazing. And I do know that if they go over on this one in terms of they get more donations than what it costs, that will roll over to the next protest or next event that is down the road. So
yeah, and I imagine that we may need to have another one, but there are good signs. If you guys want any good news, I don't know if you like that kind of stuff around here.
Share the good news.
Well, I was approached from somebody from FAA, and they wanted to try to give me an address to send some of the picket signs to, so they can hang them up in the FAA.
What?
I love that.
That's awesome.
See, they're people. I love that.
Well, that one dude did come out the first day, and he was telling us, like, you guys know they shut this place down, right? Like, they told everybody to go home.
They did.
They really didn't know what the hell was going to happen.
No.
I think there's a dramatic contrast between their fear reaction and the reality of the people that showed up. Like the just nerdy, creative, like enthusiastic nature of everybody that was there. Like everybody was protesting with smiles on their faces.
Oh yeah.
Making jokes with all their friends. Like there was even we made the mistake of Mike Rhodes took the folder of protest signs, and I had been putting joke ones in there as like Easter eggs for the guys as they were looking at the protest signs, and he just had them all printed. So we had a couple signs, like one with Zorro's face on it, another was help shave the hobby. I mean, save the hobby. And so those
I'm posting
had
the help
some-
shave our hobby right now, the wombat one.
I love that.
But so we were having fun too, and you know, it really set the mood. Not only that, but I got some little tricks that I use. Like we had the Sammy's hot dog bank, where anybody could take a hot dog withdrawal whenever they wanted. We just kept filling Sammy up with some money, and then like 100 pizzas rained down from heaven.
Yeah, it did. Like we had pizzas for days. I don't even think all of them got ate.
Yeah, they did actually. They did because I started giving them to the cops and the security guards, and
Yeah.
they loved us.
Yeah, they did. So the interesting one, like during the first day, was when DHS kept driving by, and they never got out of their car. They never said anything. They just kept driving by. Like every 5 minutes, they'd drive by.
Yeah, that facial recognition software works wonders.
Right. We're all in
No,
some
so
database now.
Me and Mike Avor went and talked to them. They loved us.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
They were
they
totally
did.
fine.
They loved
Wait,
us.
who?
Great.
Department of Homeland
Department
Security.
of Homeland Security.
So
Oh, no
they
shit.
They were
Yeah, I
the
didn't even know
actual
that.
people watching the park. It wasn't the Parks Police. They put
Oh, really?
Homeland Security there. Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh.
Interesting. Yeah, and I was able to chat with some FAA communications people on the side of the Drone Advisory Committee on Thursday. So that was, to try to calm things down a little bit. So we're very excited about the protest. It'll be done right. And so they were nodding to me, but I was surprised that they closed down the FAA offices right there at L'Enfant.
Yeah.
So, but maybe next time we get together, we may talk a little bit about the DAC and Drone Advisory Committee and what we're doing going forward.
Absolutely. So, any questions? Any comments? Anything that me or Enoch or anybody can answer?
Does anyone know who put the sticker on Sammy's cart?
That was Kush, I believe. No. Kush gave him the sticker and he put it on his own cart.
He let a
Right.
couple people put stickers on. Like, there's a couple BQE stickers on there as well now. But he was totally okay with it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, we
I'm
also
just saying,
we
that's
also
the best propaganda right there.
we fattened up that Sammy bank.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I donated to it too. I
Yeah.
went over and I knew Enoch had given him a bunch of money, but I just paid for my own hot dogs, and he's like, no, they're free, and I'm like, no, just put it in the bank for everybody else.
They were
That was probably the most he's ever made in a weekend.
Oh, easy.
well. Till next time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. 5 times bigger next time.
Here,
And
I
nobody
got, I
still
got,
got
a,
his phone number.
I got a meme for Sammy right here. Somebody was saying that this will be easy to meme, and I agree.
There you go. That's awesome.
That's great.
So,
Wait, did I have any?
But I will say one thing: next time it'll be warmer.
oh my God,
yeah.
yeah. It was so brutally cold. So, I mean, even more power to everybody who showed up, because it was just nasty cold.
It made the
and-
Was
power
there
of the
nobody
story.
from the Midwest up there? I mean, it was colder in Wisconsin, and I thought it was getting warm.
I'm from the desert, so like it's 80 degrees today. So
Oh, well, sure. Yeah. That's a shock for you, I know.
No, I mean, like a bunch of people from the Northeast came, like John Solo, me, Enoch, and it was still cold. We're used to the cold. It was the same.
Yeah, but you had there's the wind too. It was probably
yeah,
pretty
there
windy.
was.
Yeah.
That wind was a little brutal for a bit.
You know what's
I
interesting?
ruined one of my
Sorry.
lenses because of the sand blowing around. It got all
I
inside
just
the
got
lens.
back from DC a couple hours ago, and on Monday it was 65.
Yeah, I heard it warmed up right after we left. Great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Sunday we bombed around DC with scooters, and it was pretty fun. Gotta
Yeah.
say, next time, if we got 300 people bombing around on scooters, we
With
could
signs.
definitely have some fun. Yeah, there's new
Oh,
strategies to be had.
Exactly.
Hey, Enoch, what did you did have like a kind of a final count or like a rough estimate of how many people were there?
I would say somewhere around 350.
Okay,
At
that's what I was saying, like
at
350
max.
to 400 altogether.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Between 350. It was hard to tell because after we got there and we started going, it was so
Mhm.
cold. It was way better to just get out there picketing.
Yeah.
So people were getting out into the sun on the front side of the building.
Yeah.
Made it harder to count, but it was powerful looking. We covered the whole front of the building.
Yeah. Easy. So, all right, guys. I'll give you back the rest of your evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you, Enoch and Matt and everybody on the UFDA. Great times. Good message. Just a good deal all around. So we will get that letter prepped in the next week or two so that you can start hitting the Department of Transportation, senators and representatives with that. But don't let us hold you up from contacting them now. The more we can contact, the more meetings we can have, the better off we're going to be in the long run. So we do have actions lined up and people that we are talking to and cooperating with have actions lined up. So we're just going to keep pushing. So just the beginning, and we're just going to keep hammering away at it. So with that, I will say good night.
Have a good evening.
Right.
Take care.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Good night.
Good night.